Welcome, day 2 of my Technik Museum excurse. Today I'm in Sinsheim and nearly the same like Speyer. It's about a 1 hour car drive from my home. I'm in the parking lot at the moment and as you can see, not so different from the one in Speyer. Already some, I would say, aeronautic exhibits, just a different kind of presentation from this jet fighter pilot there. And already from the parking lot you can see some older aeronautic stuff, but then I think that's the two most impressive pieces. We got the Concorde in the back and its Russian counterpart in the front. Maybe if you've seen the video from yesterday, showed the pictures from the Challenger, the American spacecraft, and its Russian counterpart. And I think we have a similar topic here. You look at the French and what the Russians built. You tell me the difference. Really small ones. So then from the parking lot off to the main entrance, and let's see, I think the exhibit inside it's way different. The hall inside it's quite bigger than Speyer, and on the outside they have different topics. I think we have no big marina stuff like yesterday with the tugboat and whatnot, but yeah, let's see what we find inside. One more look from the other side. That's the main entrance. That's the airplanes we find here. Let's look up there. Let's get inside. So we got 3 different exhibit halls. That's the main building I've showed with the entrance. That's exhibit hall number 1. It's the one we're starting with. Guess it's car heavy, but not sure. Of course we got some classical airplanes. The roof, but it's quite car heavy. Still really interesting. A lot of classic cars, old cars. What we got there? Auburn, it's a replica. Now that's new, probably because also they are running out of space, so they're stocking the cars already. A lot of classical stuff. 1912. That's crazy, that's old. Dirt racers. What I saw already yesterday in Speyer, they also have some old locomotives outside and inside. Only thing is, we'll check this one out in a second. It's only a platform. They have the technical information there, and they got stuff like this. You pay like in euro, and then you can let it run, make some noises like original, but unfortunately maybe it's just impossible to do in a museum like this. You cannot enter it, you cannot look inside for the technique there, for the heating system where they made the steam. Obviously that's a steam lock, not an electrical lock, running with water and coal. Let's see if we find one where we can take a better look. Ford Skyliner convertible 1959 with a hard top. That's really nice. Didn't see this before shown in this way, so you can see how the technique inside worked. It's a hydraulic system. It's like more than 60 years old. Of course, you would not be able to use the space in the trunk when you switch to convertible, but I guess that wasn't the topic then, right? It was to have a convertible, open roof, and you could cruise. Then you see the difference, yeah? This would all disappear under the trunk, and over there, that's not with a fixed roof. That's a roof you can pack in and out. Let's see. Police car there. It's another hardtop, but removable. So that's the other one you would have, right? You take off this cover and then you fold the roof by hand. But like I said, in this one it's electrical pneumatic, so it would disappear and come out again. Really nice. Classic cars and all sorts, right? Cadillac, Ford, all of them. Really nice. So here we go. That's the other side of this locomotive. What we can see, built in 1943. So we got some sort of camouflage paint. Not sure if this worked for any good. Also again here you could put in €1. Okay, they have a chain there to make it move. That would show how this works. Well, it makes sense, this one standing here with this construction year, because there's an area right around here with a lot of World War II topics from different countries. You have cars, I think there's a spy tank. Yeah, ferret. Oh, you see, this isn't even World War II. It's from 51 to 71. Still some artillery, some more small arms tanks, troop transport. Well, let me get out here and show you more from the other side when the sounds disappeared. So the other side again, we got the locomotive over there, and then coming back here, well, some artillery or anti-tank. That's an anti-tank. And then what we got here, what's impressive, that's a Jagdpanther. One of the, what they say, best tanks from World War II. As far as I know, that's an original. It's not a replica. And then we have some more relics. There we got a Sturmgeschütz. Oh, it looks pretty much original. Around the anti-aircraft. I think we've seen this before in the Normandy. The museum's there. That's a Panther from behind. That's such a massive piece of steel. It's a fixed turret, right? So if you have to turn towards and target, the whole tank would have to turn. With the small degree the cannon can move, but most parts the tank completely needs to turn. I've got some other tanks over there, but first one I want to show. And it's another German tank. Got an impact there from anti-tank mine or anti-tank grenade. But more impressive, these two holes there. that went through from a Panzerbüchse. That means that's oh, there's two more down there. It's just a kind of a larger rifle. One man could handle it. It's not big like anti-tank pack. This pack maybe even would not be able to penetrate this tank. But they had rifles with large ammunition and fast traveling speed, so that would be able to penetrate even such thick armor. And then on the other side, original relic, or at least what it's left over from it. That's a Stuka, right? Sturzkampfbomber. Also Second World War. The back is missing. From how it's rotten, you can see, I guess, look for the information board, they saved it from the sea. Here, German-French diver team, close to Saint-Tropez, they saved it from the Mediterranean. That's what a complete one would have looked like. So what we got here, that's not the little brother, just the type brother from the Jagdpanther. That's the classical Panther. Probably the same condition like what we saw from the Stuka. You can see here, it's not in the best shape, but they didn't reconstruct it, they just left it. And they even have the movie here, how they saved it, where they found the tank. You can see they had another tank, how they pulled it out. Some parts that were loose, lying around, they saved those as well. Not sure what exactly happened. Surely a big explosion. They reassembled as much as they could. You can see there. So, but that's the big difference to the Panther I told you before. They're not so different in this back area and this part. But then you can see this part is movable. Right. So it could have a completely different use. Could turn anyway, fight another tank. And then on the side we have the counterpart, right? It's the American Sherman tank. Then we have an older version of a German tank, it's Panzerkampfwagen 2. It's the beginning of the tank wars. Another Sherman version with a short gun. And a T-34. That's pretty much the tank exhibit inside, when I remember it right. They have a lot more outside. We'll check those out later on. And if you've seen my previous videos from Normandy, there were a lot of uniforms and whatnot in a mostly private collection style. Yeah, the museums, they're running on a private basis. And what was so impressive there, how many they saved, because I remember this museum when I was little, that's maybe like 30 more years ago. But I remember they already had all these showcases with uniforms from all areas. So that's the part I remembered most. I thought back in the days, like 30 plus years ago, when I was here the first time, was already impressive how they saved all these uniforms in different styles, different areas, of course different usage. And well, when I came to Normandy, they put it on a different level there, right? Navy uniforms. It's even pre-World War II. Same impressive. Yeah. Africa Corps. You don't see them very often. So that's the round trip. We're back at the Stuka. They have some more planes up there. Junkers, Messerschmitt, Russian model. And I saw an info board over there. Below this Tante U, there's one more plane they rescued. Let's check this out. So that's what I meant. Here are the pictures from the rescue mission. Whoa. They brought it out from a lake. And the result of what they recovered. That's a U-88 horizontal bomber called. Also World War II. Gunner position. That's what this position looked like. Nice artifact. But I think that's already the World War II part from the inside. Let's check out the backside corner. Or maybe there's a little bit more, not sure. And I think then we're already heading for the outside part from Exhibit Hall 1. Let's check it out. Well, another part starting here is about farming equipment, right? So we got some tractors here, or bulldog, how we call them in south part of Germany. Some really nice parts from the beginning of this, 1915, Hanomag 1928. That's really old stuff. Check out the other side, Fordson, John Deere. I think everybody knows those. 1925. Very nice. Then we got there McCormick 1920. Not yet even with the rubber wheels, they got steel wheels. Then 1928 Lanz, German tractor company. We got the Radschlepper 1920 to 1940. And we got this one. That's for road construction, right? You saw those before with the heavy wheel in front to straighten the tar. It's from 1908. 1908. 115 years old. More. Somewhere there. Same tractor, but with the tracks like from a tank. That's what I wanted to say. Sorry. Steam powered. Then we got this Lance Bulldog here. Steam powered. Some really nice and old relics. And all in with its own charm, right? You got those non-finished. Some even without the paint job and everything, just the pure blank steel. And then completely reworked, fresh paint job. Tight ceilings, no leakage, nothing. Great shape. Like you could drive them out here and work them on the field tonight. So then, a different topic. Big cat, huh? It's not in the zoo, but still we have a big cat here. Some information film. How they're having fun with the big cat. Its construction year is 1956. What a massive piece of steel. As you can see the construction there for the heavy lifting only to put up this metal part in front. It's like a crane lift, what you see in industrial complexes, to put those up and down. Oh, and again they have a little brother. And little brother. That's a Fiat, okay. That's also a cat down there. From 1940. So that's even 15 years older. Nice piece of engineering. Really great. So, some more World War II stuff in the back end of this building. It's an anti-air tank. It's a 8.8mm flak. Field kitchen. Oh, that's even World War I, 1916. Opel Blitz. It's Mercedes troop transport. And different transportation vehicles. And then we have two more special tanks. And what I didn't know or what I forgot. Well, let's start slow. Start with this one. It's another specialized tank. Sturmhaubitze 3. So it's not against tank fighting, I guess. That's more against building fighting. So it's a mobile artillery you can bring behind your infantry, but you're still protected, right? Goliath, I think we've seen one in Normandy. And then we have a Hummel, Feldhaubitze. That's really a driving infantry, because they're open on top and they're just protected against shooting from the front. That's that. And then if you think back to the one tank we just saw down there, nearly destroyed, the German one. Well, up on top here we have an intact one. Just saying now, another Panther tank, completely and intact. This cannon, that's a 7.5 centimeter. I think there were some also with the 8.8, or was this only on the Tiger? I'm not completely sure. That's the one on tank, the one intact. You can see the turret intact. They even put the machine gun option on top. The tools that were mounted on the side. Spare tracks. and then the back side again like the other twos. Some explanation stuff there, but having this guy standing here, quite impressive. But not less impressive, like the little one I showed before. They have a really nice corner here from those street construction vehicles, the walls for the roads, all steam powered. Really big one. It's from 1918. It's just crazy. I mean, like this, like 4 meter high, 4.5 meter high. Sorry for the changing light. Camera's a little slow to adjust. Sorry for that. I take my time for the pictures. That's just crazy, steam powered. Real big trucks. So going back 1950 bus from 35, French bus from 35, Saint-Michel, Louvre. Really nice. Not sure if it ever drove in Paris, Place Pigalle, but still quite nice exhibits. Oh, and if you need one for your child to play with, they got one here. So, exhibit hall 1, just behind me, and then the outside area. It's pretty much military as well, but I need to say, if you're into tanks, if you like tanks, it's one of the places to be. There's a lot from different areas, different types, different styles, different size, different purpose. Oh, they even have a ship artillery gun. I can see it there in the back, the gray one in the middle of the picture right now. But like I said, different areas. Long Tom called pre-1945, the Marder tank. That's a troop carrier, if I'm not completely wrong. 71. Next one we got is a Stuart tank. 1941. Desert rats used them in Africa during World War II. Bumblebee? Is that Bumblebee? No. Observation tank. And was a Sherman tank before, and that's what they used on those training grounds, training areas, where they also drove around with tanks and infantry, sharpshooting, so the observers could sit in a tank. They were at least a little saved from shrapnels and whatnot, and by the color you could easily see them and hopefully not think they're a target. So, Centurion tank, 1949, in a movable position, cannon saved in the background. Now it's getting a little bit modern. That's the mounting system for Pershing 1. Maybe somebody heard of that. Cold War stuff. There's a truck in the front missing, but nonetheless, that's a rocket system. So nicely put together here for comparison. On the left you have a 90mm cannon from a tank mount. It's from an M48 or an M49 tank. And at the side got even 100mm, so only 10mm larger. But that's a turret from a ship, and think it's working a little different because you have the cartridge in there and then you have the powder loads and whatnot. So the reach for those cannons were even further than from the tank, but still by the optic you can see the resemblance. Same thing we got here in the back. It's again a 90mm from an M47, little smaller, and that's a turret from a marine gun, 105mm. Well, inside you don't need that much of a protection. It's not as thick as the ones from a tank, but still, by the basic technique, quite similar. So here we got some tanks that could use a new paint job. So you guys from the museum, if you see it and you got some paint left over, maybe you paint it. That's a Leopard tank. That's a German engineered tank. I think they're well known. Leopard 2. So the aftermath of this, I guess, one of the tanks in the world. And then going from there, well, artillery, this M47, like there's only the turret with a different barrel, as you can see there. Another American tank, but by the symbol you can see it's been used by the German forces after World War II. Yeah, it's 1956, but it's an M47 again. M26 half track. Now slowly the words coming back. Sorry if I'm stumbling over the words from time to time. Now we're going back in time. You see, in 1944, it's an M24 T-72. It's a Russian tank. It's a Cold War tank. But then we have again World War II tank. That's a T-34. Quite as famous as the German tanks. Nice one, nice exhibit. That's a prototype for a Leopard. It's not gone exactly like this in production. You can still see some resemblance to the M74, I would guess, especially the turret and whatnot. It got a different shape than in the final production. Wow, and then we got a real big artillery gun, 21 centimeters, so that's 210mm. That's a double size from the ship artillery I just showed. Skoda. There's a reach of 34 kilometers, so if I sit on top I can shoot myself probably halfway home. 34 kilometers, that's crazy. So some troop transports. And they're jumping a little bit from time. Still really interesting, the different types, maybe the mixes also, that's what it keeps a little interesting. 61, tank used by the Swiss Army. So we also got our British bus here, so that's equal to Speyer, right? Even though this is a convertible. But more nice is this one. It's called Alligator. It's a bridge car. So down there is the normal driver seats, and on top there, that's the special guys then, and that's where they would be able to put out the pontons from the side. You can see the hydraulic systems down here, and those claps would come down and lay at the side. They're filled with air, in best case, and then you would be able to cross the river to help mountain bridges, right? To build up pontoon bridges, stuff like that. All the technical stuff there. Quite a nice piece. And we have another T-34 SU-100. Well, it came out 1944, but I would say in the type, what you can see from the back, it's pretty equal to the Panther, right? And so fixed turret, not movable, big cannon in front. Yeah. Some more Russian vehicles, pre-World War II. It's also troop transport. There's troop transport. Then again an American. That's pretty much it, the round trip. And then they have some utility vehicles, different style, really big, really heavy stuff. One more M48 tank. What we got there? Well, amphibious truck from the British Army. So that's all sealed, you could go into the water. And one more Leopard 1 tank from the back. Unfortunately, both from the back or the side. Well, but it still looks, maybe not completely. You can see there, little flat, and the, how to say, the mounting there is not as thick as you can see there. Not a big difference, but quite some. And on the top, I think, where's my finger? This one is also a little different to this one, but not much. I think they're pretty close. T-55 and Russian helicopter. I'm not sure if it's even the same model like the one we've been in yesterday. I forgot the number, but surely they're pretty close. So that was exhibit hall 1 over there. A lot of stuff, like I said. All in all, the complex is 3 halls. That's the entrance to hall number 2 and 3. What we're about to see there is then these 2 beauties. See when we get up. The lady at the entrance already said to go in there early because it will heat up a lot during the daytime. But now it's 12 o'clock. Well, let's see how long it takes us to get in there. But some more airplanes to discover. So let's get inside. So here we are on the roof. It's the backside of the Concorde. Like yesterday, we're allowed to directly walk below it.
You can fly. You can get them in real life too, yeah.
So you can see the specialty of these sort of planes. We even have wheels in the aft. Jet turbines. Over there is the Russian part. So let's check them out from the inside. One after the other. First the Concorde, then the Russian. So that's the inside. It's the entrance to the passenger's cabin. Probably this would have been where the people came in, stewardess place. It's where they can make their announcements. And a small galley, like we saw in the 747 yesterday already. And then already the passenger's cabin. I just can't stand upright, so no, not completely. It's maybe not more than 6'3", 6'4" high. You can see Just regular seats, nothing special. They would be really tight fit for me. And so well, and then we're coming to the front. There's a little bathroom. And they opened here for a little fresh air. That's not flying position. And here we already have, oh, they opened up some of the Technik, all the electronics and whatnot. And then the cockpit. Well, it's quite large. There are 4 seats. Well, as you have seen, 2 pilots and then navigation. Not sure if this is only emergency seat or if it's an existing seat. Quite large, but again, really small windows to look out. But anyhow, they're navigating throughout all those little things you can read and see stuff. Right, that's a Concorde. Now get back and take a look in the Russian one. One more look from below. This massive gas turbines. Matter of fact, in the Navy I was working with 1 or 2 gas turbines to be correct, and that's just crazy, and you cannot imagine how much fuel they consume if they're running on full power, how much their thirst is. Tons, I can guarantee you they swallow tons. But it's really nice to see all the stuff. That's where the wheels get in to be stuck away, and of course the nose, impressive part of those airplanes. Sorry for the sun. Already one more look from the aft of the Russian. But first thing first, so that's pretty much the difference, right? They had different gas turbines. Anyhow, they use gas turbines, of course, for the force they can create. Everybody knew that since the jet area, right? And so anyhow, the Rolls-Royce came up with a straight design, and like you can see in the Tupolev, it's more round shaped. So let's take a look inside. So that's the entrance area to the Tupolev. Quite different than the one to the Concorde. Not sure. It's aluminum. And then here on the other side as well, maybe some sort of storage bins. I think the commercial aspect for the Russians were quite different than the one from Concorde. Right, probably. There's the door. And that's the aft area. It's not that large in the Concorde. Passengers area coming way earlier.
Pass mal, wenn du siehst, das ist halt alles Schaum. Da, die Zwischenwand. Quasi zwei Schalen dann.
So a nice little diorama how the Tupolev get here. They picked it up in Moscow, sea transport towards Mannheim. Then they loaded it on a truck, brought it here, and then the final mounting, they assembled it on the ground, and then they brought it up to its lasting position where we are walking right now. So those are the seats, not as luxury as in the Concorde. It looks more like old-time flight seats you would find in European airplanes as well. Nothing special. Standing height, quite the same, 6'3", 6'4" maybe. So let's check out the cockpit. So, and here we go, cockpit, the Tupolev. Same style here, only different design, electronics, fuses. pilot, navigator, but even he had jobs. You see the work there, emergency seat, and also not much more to see than from the Concorde. Well, besides how they put their nose, but that's the part which I got on the outside. That's pretty much it. So also for the Tupolev, picture from down below. Now again we can see a resemblance because the air inlet for the gas turbines, they're even the same like at the Concorde. You can see Concorde there, square shaped form, but the Concorde kept the square shaped form while the Tupolev gets more round shape. And another difference is the wheels, the way they put up the wheels, as we saw from the Concorde. They get flapped like this, and the Tupolev is using a different style. And another thing, but it's maybe hard to see from here, that's the nose from the Tupolev. Maybe you can see it a little bit. And well, the ankle, the airplane is standing, is really upward like this, but the nose, they can crank it. You can see it in there. So that for the pilots, even though, let's say, even ground. So even though the airplane is having this shape, you would put down the nose like this, and then the pilots would be able to still look forward what's coming. So one last thing to say. Normally I said wherever I am in my area you could see the mountains from what region ever, or from what angle I'd rather say. But now today actually I'm in between the mountains. I'm in a little bowl, as you can see the shape there. So not the big mountains visible today, but still we have some, and of course a castle. But the castle is not the topic today. We stay in the museum. We just finished the top, the flight deck of museum number 2 and 3, SSSR. One last look at the Tupolev, and now let's see what are the exhibits of area 2 and 3. Let's get inside. Just one last look from the side of the flight deck, and to show again what I meant. Maybe it's visible, the high ankle, the airplanes are placed there, and that's the how to say, that's the position they would have once they are landing or starting. And as you can see, I think the little difference is the Tupolev, the nose going down, including the cockpit, right? So they're looking forward. And if we take a look at the Concorde, I think you can see by the windows there, that's the cockpit windows. So pretty much it looks like they only lower the nose and the cockpit window stays in the direction of the cabin, or the whole plane, right? More or less like that. But still they have the same problem from the ankle. They cannot look out with this shape of the nose, so they came up with this. And of course both airplanes have it. Coincidence, probably. So let's get into Museum Hall 2. So hall number 2, starting nearly with a bang. For those of you who don't know, this is a Porsche Speedster, and that's the same car James Dean had his accident with. So at the first second you're thinking like, wow. And indeed it even was a car that been driven in America, California to be correct, LA, but it's not the James Dean car. But still, at the first second it's a shock, like, James Dean car still existing, but it's not. So Exhibit Hall 2. Looks like classic car, but modern style. Racing topic, a bunch. Formula 1. Different areas. Many have seen those where it's about classical racing, right? And then going over to modern racing cars. Nick Heidfeld, well-known German race car driver. So that's a Sauber. Yep, Sauber Petronas. Let's check all them out. Joe Alesi. Everybody with Formula 1 knowledge knows Joe Alesi. No driver seat in this one. Let's see if we find in the 2000 model. Mika Salo, Petro Diniz. Oh, one more Alesi. 98. And then 2017. That's quite new. Ferrari. Looks like one we know from Senna and Nigel Mansell. Let's see. 1987. Well, Nelson Piquet and Nigel Mansell. That's the area. So here we got a second row. Formula 1 Williams. One Jordan. This one is from 2002. Not sure if this is what driver. Fisichella and Sato. Honda powered engine. Okay, a motorcycle in between. I guess everybody saw this one. So that's just the entrance area from the Formula 1 cars I showed. So those. Then another racing cars. Ferrari, who doesn't love those? Different styles. Of course Lamborghini. Not sure what they thought when they built this one. 1987. Countach. Seen in many movies, I would say. Another Bulldog. Coming around to another classic models. Then going over from there. Going way back into time. Coming to the classical car area, which I think it's even more nice and impressive from the old times. Well, mixed up. 600. Oh, could it be much more luxury for its time? It's from the 70s. We got a Bentley from the 70s. We're going even way more back into time. Just have a look on the other side. Some convertibles, even a Beetle. MG. But wheel on the left side, so for the European market, right? As you can see, Rolls-Royce, British market, wheel on the right side. Another one with a wheel on the right side. Phantom number 2, 1934. 1934. Another highlight. A real classic car. Phantom number 2, convertible, 1933. Just beautiful. Well, Mercedes area, not quite, less impressive. 1953 convertible, going way more back. 50. What a nice shape, 1950 Thicks, 300 SE Coupe, and the Roadster version, pretty much the same cars, just a Roadster, so convertible, hardtop. And it's getting even way more back into time. Old Opel. Another British one. That's a Jack. Wheel on the right side again. Opel from 38. Another Opel. Super 6. 38. See those doors? Driver door opening like this, and for the back side opening like this, swinging doors. Hoi, Auto Union. What became Audi later on, if you know Audi. We got a Maybach. Really nice. 39. Convertible. I guess another one. No, that's a Benz. Also 39. What a large car. Not sure if anybody could buy such a car in 39. Or this one. 1938 Special Roadster. Impressive. And an exhibit I haven't seen before, or I don't remember. On the first look, that's just a Mercedes 1934. Well, even if you look at it from distance, put a picture of a VW Beetle to the side. Not a big difference, but probably car designs now and then pretty much the same. But like I said, the model from 1934, and they kept something they put on there during World War II in Germany, because running low on fuel, they had to find something to still run their cars. What they brought up here, well, that's wood gas steam engine, right? So you have a burner down there, you have a pressure tank there. Well, let's see it from this picture. You see down there burning, creating the pressure. That's a cooler, blower, and like that you can run your car without burning fuel. And nice exhibit. So somebody heard my wishes. What we got here, it's a locomotive. from 1939. Steam fired in the beginning, switched to oil firing later on, but you can enter it. So let's have a look inside. Working place, somebody running a lock. Right, so probably there would have been the oil storage, but before the coal. So they had some kind of opening here for the coal, and then this all is the boiler. Down here you have the firing hole, the one you would have opened up. You would have been able, oh, you see they even left some coal in there. Lightning not so good, let's see. Well, that's where the fire would have been, and above it there, that's the area with the water inside, where you put the water under pressure so you can steam it harder or hotter, and then create quite some pressure. And with the pressure then you have different wheels you open, and the steam pressure would go into the hydraulic cylinders. They would start pushing forward, backward, and then you have the window to look out what's going on in front of you, both sides of course. And then, like I said, steam pushing the cylinders moving back and forth, pulling one side, pushing one side. You see, so here you have an ongoing movement, pull, push, pull, push. They're sitting on the wheels, sorry for the sound, pulling them back here and pushing them down there, or vice versa, of course. If you're going forward, the wheel is turning like this. And one nerdy information I remember from just watching it and being interested. If you believe it or not, inside here it's a sand tank, and you can see the pipes going down there, all of them coming out down here in front of the wheels, because what we got here, it's a steel bar there, it's a steel from the wheel, and if they start turning steel on steel with a lot of pressure pushing down, you will not create movement. So in the beginning, before they're sliding steel on steel, you could blow down there some sand, so until the train would have some first movement below all the wheels, they could blow some sand and give the wheels some traction, so the train could start. Yeah, and if you don't know, now you know. Well, many movie geeks happy when they can show any addition which would been used in a movie or is recreated towards the movie. But here in the museum, one edition, completely original, blank polished, with all the information, built 81. And if you're really into trains, I would say this little side hall probably is your place to be. Again, unfortunately, or well, on its purpose, you cannot enter them. Anyhow, really nice to see also the technical development, different time areas. Those are already the first ones with electrical, with the wiring which goes up then here as well. It's necessary information to know about the crocodile Little look inside there. Electronic motors. And that's another steam powered. Also 39, so that's similar to the one we just saw. Even though you can see a little bit more here. Quite nice. So if you're really into cars and all sorts of, let's say, phases of cars, car driving, car racing, this hall got it all. It really got it all. Whatever cars you like, you really need to come here, visit this exhibit, take a real look around. Great cars. That's pretty much it from the museum part. Just leaving building or exhibit hall 2 and 3, where we've been last. Main hall over there. Airplanes in my back. So really need to say, after museum day 2, Speyer and Sinsheim, great job, great museums, really great exhibits they're showing there. All the people working there doing a really great job preserving those pieces of history and showing their love and passion to keep those things alive, to show them to people. Entrance fee, absolute okay. Cannot imagine how much it costs to keep that stuff alive. For the halls, for all the people cleaning there and making it nice to visit these places, having a good time there. And well, even in the parking lot, Switzerland, you have another historic relic. Hopefully nobody takes over the bus and puts it in a museum and the people searching for the bus. So yeah, I highly recommend you to visit both of the museums. They're really great and there's something to find for everybody, from the kids to the grown-ups. Great information about everything, so you don't need any ahead knowledge or something like that. Just go there, look at all the stuff, have a great time. And for me now, second last day of my holiday, it's Thursday, and just on the other side there's something called Badewelt Sinsheim, and that's like a big bathing area, and they have like tropical palm trees there, big bathing area, and sunroof. Probably today it's 25-26 degrees. Pretty sure they will open the sunroof, and then you can have some fresh air coming in, sun coming in, and that's where I will end my day. Probably not filming in there, so I'll leave you behind there, have a small lunch, and then have a little me time in there to close out my holiday day for today. So let me leave you with my last words. Remember, life's short, make the most of it.